Welcome into today's episode of Four Verts. I am your host, Harrison Graham. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. And on today's show, I thought we'd have some fun. Everybody loves trades. Everybody loves the draft, kind of the unknown, what could be. So I've got 5 blockbuster trade ideas that would reshape the league for the 2024 season and potentially beyond, especially in a couple of these trades cases. So now we'll get to our next trade in a second, but I wanted to give you a round of applause. Thank you so much helping us cross 700 subscribers on yesterday's show. Next milestone's 800, and the ultimate next goal is 1,000 subscribers. NFL content, college football, big stories, reacting to news, segments like this, having some fun. We're going to do it all for you guys, podcast style, with obviously some video and graphical element to it as well. And I want you guys to be involved in the show. So appreciate you for tuning in and showing support so far. And let's get to 800 subscribers. Can we get there by tomorrow? I think that's possible. All right, trade idea number 2, Matt Judon to Chicago. A lot of you guys know I cover the Bears. Big need for them is a secondary pass rusher, opposite of Montez Sweat. And he would be incredibly impactful. There's no question about it. And I think he might be gettable because things are potentially going sideways in New England. On Monday, he's been holding in. He was at training camp, but he was caught on camera having kind of a heated exchange with head coach Jerod Mayo, and then later an exchange with Eliot and another executive, and then he left the practice field. We don't know the full context of that. But what we do know is at today's practice, he was not present. He was not seen. Now, there could be a million reasons for that, but is he potentially shifting to a holdout now? And the reason he's frustrated is because the Patriots have extended a ton of their own guys, players not as good as Matt Judon. And he's like, what about me? And we talked about it yesterday. From the Patriots standpoint, I get it. He's going to be 32 next month. I would just move on from him. Final year of his deal, trade him, get what you can for him. I think out of all the trades we're going to talk about today, this one's the most realistic, where you've got an aging player on a team that's gone young, new head coach, new GM, etc. Like, trading Matt Judon makes sense. And for the Bears, if they're trying to make moves this year, you got a third-year head coach in Matt Eberflus, who's not on a scorching hot seat, but needs to continue to take steps to show he can be the guy. Well, giving him Matt Judon, another elite pass rusher, would certainly help. Maybe you give him like a 2-year contract extension, $50 million or something like that, to keep him happy. I think that could end up working out for both sides. Second, third round pick for Judon. Maybe it's more of a third. You may not get top dollar if you are New England right now. But I think giving him big money when he's aging and you're not ready to win doesn't make sense. A team like Chicago could use him. All right, our next trade here. Jonathan Allen to Houston. Jonathan Allen was linked to trade rumors before the NFL trade deadline last year. Washington opted to trade Montez Sweat to Chicago and Chase Young to the 49ers, who's now with the Saints. They've kept Allen, who's under contract, but he's 30 years old now. He probably wants another big deal soon. And the Houston Texans, who were the surprise team of the NFL last year, led by quarterback C.J. Stroud, could use a 3-tech defensive lineman in general, but especially after the news of DeMeco Autry getting suspended came down. He was their projected starter at 3-tech, so not only would Allen be an upgrade regardless, but now it's actually kind of a big need. They don't really have any notable options in there on the interior. They've got Danielle Hunter at edge, Will Anderson. You added Jonathan Allen to that front four for DeMeco Ryans to work with. I mean, that is a pretty stout group, and that could be the difference in Houston being a true contender in the AFC versus, a playoff team, but not a team ready to make a run. Jonathan Allen's experience, ability to stop the run and put pressure on quarterbacks, that would really, really help. And could you imagine the one-on-one looks a guy like Will Anderson would get playing next to Jonathan Allen and Danielle Hunter? That is scary for opposing teams to think about. And, oh, by the way, that Texans offense is cooking with C.J. Stroud. They have a pretty complete team right now. How about Marshon Latimore to Philadelphia? Out of all the cornerback trade rumors that have circulated this offseason, Latimore is the one that's still kind of lurking out there. Pat Surtain's not getting moved at this point. A couple other guys got extended. The Saints kind of reworked Latimore's deal, but it's still tradable if it's a post-June 1 designation, which it obviously could be here. He'd be an excellent fit opposite of Darius Slay. in Philadelphia. And there's a lot of pressure in Philly right now. Nick Sirianni needs to produce this year. 2 new coordinators, Kellen Moore on the offensive side, Vic Fangio on the defensive side. And the Eagles' CB2 situation just isn't that good. Obviously, Darius Slay is still a good player at CB1, but Isaiah Rodgers might start. He missed all of last year with the gambling suspension. James Bradbury's still in the mix. There's been chatter they could cut him. He fell off a cliff last year. Go get Latimore. Like, this is a classic Howie Roseman type of move. Go get Marshon Latimore, a big name, a player that can play, put him opposite of Darius Slay, and try to make a run. This team was in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, started off, 8-0 last year, 9-0, fell off a cliff down the stretch of the season and got smoked in the first round of the playoffs. They need to play better this year, and the defense has got to play better after just a disastrous second half of the year when they shifted to Matt Patricia in 2023. All right, let's get to the juicy one. We're having fun now. Davante Adams, Brandon Aiyuk swap. This has been thrown out there as like a kind of a fun idea. Could it happen if Aiyuk continues to be frustrated and, Davante Adams wants to go play for a contender? I think it actually kind of makes a lot of sense. And here's why. From the 49ers perspective, if they can't work out a deal with Aiyuk because that price keeps going up, Adam Schefter reported recently that window is tightening as the wide receiver market goes up, and the 49ers don't want to give him $30+ million per year. They want to get him at 26, 27. Maybe they'd go to 28. Like, if Aiyuk just gets to the point where he's like, I'm just not going to show up, do you swap him for Davante Adams, and who, I don't care what anybody says, is not happy in Vegas? Him and his reps can come out and say, we want to be here, etc. Go watch the receiver documentary. He wants out of there. He went from playing with Aaron Rodgers to Jimmy Garoppolo some last year, and now to Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew. Like, he knows what it's like to win. I think deep down he would love a chance to go play with Kyle Shanahan, Brock Purdy, and the 49ers. It keeps you in your Super Bowl window if you're the 49ers, because you don't want to trade Aiyuk and dampen your chances this year, because next year you're going to have to pay Brock Purdy potentially. Fred Warner, George Kittle, these guys are all 1 year older. Deebo Samuel's a year older. Trent Williams is a year older. Adams keeps you in that window, and on the short term might actually be a little bit better than Aiyuk still. Now, obviously, Aiyuk is ascending. You'd like to keep him there, but if the worst case scenario is you get Davante Adams for this year, it doesn't lessen your chances to make a run in 2024, whereas the 49ers are clearly in win-now mode. And I think even for bigger reason why the Raiders should do this is you're not ready to win. Why not get younger at a key position, pay Brandon Aiyuk, and he's your wide receiver one moving forward. And oh, by the way, he has a relationship with your head coach, Antonio Pierce, who was on staff at Arizona State when Aiyuk was there in college. Like, I think this could be a rare win-win in terms of 2-star players getting moved. Adams, 31, 32. The 49ers, who would like to keep Aiyuk, but maybe don't want to pay him what he wants. They absorb Adams, who, after this year, they can make a decision on. If they don't want to pay him, they can get out of his contract. Like, there's a lot of options for San Francisco beyond 2024 if they take on Adams' contract. So I think it could be a win-win. It would certainly be juicy as hell if it happened. One of the bigger trades I think we've seen in a long, long time. I don't think we're there yet. We'll see where this Aiyuk thing goes with the 49ers, but they clearly want to win this year, and if they can't keep Aiyuk and make that work, if you could get Adams out of it, that would be a very, very good consolation prize, no doubt about it. All right, 5 blockbuster trades in the books for you guys. Listen, if you have any trade ideas, drop them in the comments down below. If we have enough good ones, maybe I'll break some down here on an episode of 4 Vert, so be sure to do that, and don't forget to subscribe as we will continue to plug out more NFL and college football content here on a daily basis. My name is Harrison Graham. We'll see you guys soon.